Welcome to day 1 of 31 days of comics. And day 1 is going to throw us right into the deep end. There's no easing us in with a couple of easy or specific prompts. We're going to go big from the very beginning. But first, in case you're confused as to what 31 Days of Comics is and what this game is about, check out my Day 0 What is 31 Days of Comics video, which I'll link up here and in the description below. I go into a little bit of the rationale, the origin, as well as the rules, what little there are for this game. But now let's jump into day 1, which has the prompt, your favorite comic. And my first reaction to this was, that's all you want to know on day 1, your favorite comic? Because there's a lot to unpack in this. There's obviously what makes a favorite comic. Is it the same thing as the best comic or the greatest comic you've ever read, or the comic you've read the most number of times, the comic you've given to most people or talked about the most? What exactly is the internal calculus that determines the status of favorite? And saying favorite comic is different from saying a favorite comic. You can have many favorites and say one is one of many, but when you say your favorite comic, you are talking only about one. And how does one pick of all the comics that one has loved and enjoyed through their life? How does one pick one? There's also the question of what we mean by comics, something I suppose I should have addressed in day 0. But here on the first day, I think we can cover that as well. So just to clarify, what do we mean by a comic? And the answer is anything you want it to mean. So your favorite comic can be your favorite single issue, your favorite run of a particular writer or artist or combination. It could be a mini series, a maxi series, a multi-volume, multi-year. It could be one particular volume. It could be a standalone read, European album, bande dessinée. It can be manga. All of these classify as comics. So with that out of the way, let's return to how does one determine one's favorite? And for me, I could, for the sake of argument, just keep going round and round. But if I am to be perfectly honest, I didn't have much of a doubt what I'm picking over here. That's because my answer to this question has been the same for, I think, the last 5 or 6 years. People who know me and this channel well or well enough will probably have guessed at this already, that my favorite comic is Usagi Yojimbo. Running for over 35 years, written, drawn, and lettered by one person, Stan Sakai, this is simply one of the most magnificent comics I've ever had the pleasure of reading. I've talked about Usagi Yojimbo many times on this channel before and will continue to do so, like for example right now, where I am continuing to do so. And the reason why it's my favorite comic is because it simply ticks all of the boxes I can think of when I think of what I want in a good comic, what I want in good storytelling. You can check out my other videos for detailed overviews, but in short, the two things that most distinguish the series are its extremely high quality in writing, art, layout, the whole bundle that makes up storytelling, and its incredible consistency issue after issue, volume after volume. It's also incredibly accessible and appealing to a wide range of readers. And as I've often said on this channel, the barrier of entry is extremely low. It not only has a perfect balance between the short stories and the longer arcs, but the short stories themselves become small little chain links with its consistency of character, the fidelity to the feudal Japanese world that it is creating, with its superb writing, gorgeous art, and evocative, mature storytelling that can be accessed by almost any age group and reading sophistication. It's hard for me to think of something that satisfies me at a potboiler level, at a cerebral intellectual level, at a serial storytelling level, at a contained story level, all simultaneously the way that Usagi Yojimbo does. Usagi Yojimbo delivers the expected and the unexpected, the epic and the intimate, all without ever cheating, without being inconsistent, and without making you think that it's spinning its wheels and you've seen this before. No matter which formula it uses, the series and Stan Sakai always find their own spin on it, transforming it into something unique, individual, and very distinctive. If we play 31 Days of Comics every year, I'll think about whether I renew my subscription to Usagi Yojimbo or try something out. At this point of time, it seems extremely difficult to do because it's been running, as I said, for more than 35 years. It has had nary a misstep in that time, and every issue seems to be as good as something I've read before. Given the immense ocean of fantastic stories that are out there and the fact that it shows no signs of slowing down, at least in the quality of its storytelling, are exactly the reasons why Usagi Yojimbo continues to be my favorite comic. And now it's your turn. Give me one single comic as your favorite comic and the reasoning and the rationale behind it in the comments below. Day 2 is coming shortly. You'll find the link here when it goes live. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.